Had you read the book before you took the part?
I did, yeah. I read it after I read the screenplay and before my first audition.
It was kind of Jeff Bridges' project that he'd been sitting on for 20 years. Is that why it just took so long because he wanted to perfect it? Was the technology not where he wanted before he made the film? Do you know?
I do. It wasn't the technology. It was the fact that there was a lot of controversy behind this film, as you may know. And there's some scenes and some ideas in the film which just wasn't supported by the studios. And I guess it wasn't thought of as something that would sell and be kind of pushed. And so when Harvey Weinstein and the Weinsteins and Walden Media got on board, they really pushed this idea, pushed this concept, and I think it's paid off, yeah.
So, knowing that you've read the book, I have a 13-year-old daughter at home who has read the book and is actually very jealous I'm here to talk to you about the movie. She asked me to ask you, which you like better, the screenplay for the movie and the movie itself, or did you enjoy the book more?
I enjoyed the book more.
Right on.
Just because the book's so, I mean, for film, there's so many different mediums that you have to fulfill, you know. You've got to create a first act, second act, and a third act. And you've got to put plot points in each of those acts. And, you know, have an introduction that makes sense. And you've got to do so many structural things that, you know, that make a film kind of make sense in a way, and also tell the story at the same time. The book is told through Jonas's point of view, and you kind of feel like he's talking to you only when you're reading it, you know. You can't really do that in film. I mean, we tried to with the voiceover, and I think it works to some extent, but Lois's writing at the start of the book kind of feels very comfortable to read, and the words she uses are joyous and cheerful and excited and happy, and you kind of wonder, you know, this community is a great community, and that's the point. And as we kind of get deeper into the book, we realize that, you know, certain things are strange. You know, why is, you know, what does it mean to be released? What is that? You know, what does it mean to have a certain time where you talk about your dreams, and a certain time when you talk about your feelings, and why do you have to be precise with your language all the time? And why can't you just say, I don't know how I feel? You know, I feel, you know, which I do a lot. You know, I feel syllable, or if, you know, because we can't really. There's so many emotions, you know, with us that we don't know how. We can't put a word to it.
Yeah.
And I feel like her book just
really did that.
Yeah, really did that. Really specific on.
Your character in The Giver, he's not supposed to have any emotions until he starts getting the memories. What was it like having to act with pretty much no emotion and then suddenly feeling all of these things that you as a person always feel?
Well, I guess I don't always feel these things. I guess it's some like little pieces of life that I've felt, you know, in my 24 years of living. You know, luckily I haven't been to war, and I feel like, you know, there's so many movies and so much information and material that you can read up on and study, but nothing's really like just being thrown into it. You know, we did those war scenes, and they were very much like, I don't know what war's like. You know, you fear for your life constantly, I'm sure. But it was, you know, Phil created a very real environment in a lot of those memories, and going into them and coming out of them were shot at the same time. And so it was more, from a continuity point of view, working with what thoughts, what is the memory, what are we going to shoot later on down the line. Because we shot a lot of the giving of the memory in the giver's quarters first, and then we would shoot later the actual memories, the sled, and the war, and the elephants. And so I was just working with Philip to try and really lodge in how, you know, how he's going to shoot it, how specific, how big he wants me to go. You know, what would it be like to, you know, find color is my first memory for the first time.
If you could pass one memory on to future generations, which is kind of the premise of this, what would it be?
I would pass the memory of family. You know, if they haven't got one, of course. I don't know, I've been saying that a lot lately because, I've been away from home for a while. It's like a ridiculous thing, but, I just miss my family, I think it's like, the most important thing that we all have is if we're lucky enough that, some people obviously don't have family and have close friends or close community, but I think that the happiest people are those who have a supportive family behind.
How was it running around with the baby all the time? All those scenes?
I have to say, it was so much fun. There was very unfun times with the baby, I have to say. And he would cry a lot, and they'd kind of just say, just keep it and rock it, or do something, or sing to it. I'd be like, oh man, no. Singing AC/DC to this baby. No, you do. You learn little tricks. I don't know, if you're a mother or you have kids or something. But I learned that that's what you do. You learn what's funny, and that runs out after about a week. So you got to learn something else, a new sound or something.
What was the most challenging scene to get accurate compared to the book, to get it right that you're really focused on?
I guess it was the scene. I guess it was a lot of the stuff with the baby. We're talking about the baby now. It was a lot of the stuff with Gabriel because, obviously a baby can't cry when you tell it to do this. And so we really had to, work with, when I see his mark on my arm, which it's now a mark, it's because we didn't really want to delve into the world of everyone's eye color being the same. And it's like hundreds of people in this community, we would have to change all their eye colors. And, I don't know, but they just decided to make it something else, this connection. And so it was difficult to get the right responses from the baby in order to tell the story. We need to have connection, so I'm acting, I have the connection. No, the baby was great. I don't know, I feel like it kind of knew somehow what we were wanting it to do because we got it quite quickly. It was pretty good, but sometimes it was a little difficult to get it to cry at certain moments.
How do you get it to cry?
I don't touch it. I mean, usually they get it to cry by putting it in my arms. I didn't get it to cry at all. I didn't want it to cry. It would be crying for a couple of takes, and Philip would say, "Okay, one more," and we're all kind of going, "This baby's crying and needs something, and it's not me, obviously." And so we'd kind of do one more and have to swap babies, and then the other one would be really happy, so we'd wait around for it to get cold or something.
In the movie, there's a scene where you jump a motorized bike and do this.
Yeah.
First of all, where did you film that? And second of all, is there a crazy side in you like that? Would you ever do anything like that?
Oh, totally, bro. I
Really?
love it. Yeah.
Right on.
Well, to be honest, here's a funny story. So when I first get to South Africa, they asked me, "Can you motorcycle ride?" And I said, "Yeah, of course." I had ridden a motorcycle once when I was 8, I think, and so I just thought I'd figure it out as I go. I can kind of, I don't know. I thought I was good like that, skateboard and surf. I can ride a motorbike. It's not much, whatever. Anyway, I get there and the guy is my stunt double is the #1 South Africa motorbike guy. Great motorbike guy. I forget his name, unfortunately. Sorry, dude. And the stunt guys are awesome. They were super supportive and whatever. But I just lied to them. I just said, "Yeah, I can ride." And so they're like, "Oh, great, we'll get on the bike and go for a ride." And I was like, "All right." So I was like, "How do you start it?" And they're like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll start it." And then I just said, "Is it 1 down, 2 up or something?" And he's like, yeah. So it's 1 down, 2 up. And then I kind of just figured it out on the way. I almost died about 5 times that day. But, I learned my lesson. Don't tell people stuff they want to hear. Just be true. So the first time I had that motorbike scene, they're chasing me off the cliff, and so we have to round a corner, and the directors are sitting right on this. The director and producer are sitting right on the corner, watching the monitors. And the first take I did, I turn my wheel, it locks up, and I go over the handlebars. I almost break my neck, arm, everything. And I look up, and they're literally like 2 meters away from me. And Philip goes, it was like, gee, that was close. One more. And I was like looking at Nikki and Ralph, the two producers, and their eyes are kind of white as owls, you know, like we just almost killed our lead actor, you know. I thought he knew how to motorbike.
Since in the community everyone has specific jobs,
Yeah.
and they're always based on how they volunteered or anything like that. If you were in the community as you, what job do you think you would have?
The entertainer. I would, what would I do? I'd be the MC at the auditorium, telling little jokes to the people while people come up and get their assignments. I could be the bike tester, where I test out the bikes and take them for journeys across the hills. I don't know, to be honest. I'd be the receiver of memory. It's weird because, you know, there are assignments that you have for life. And so I've always liked acting because with every job, it's very different. And so the idea of like having the same assignment for the rest of your life until you become an elder and then get released is very dark, very sad.
So what do you have next?
I don't know. I don't really have anything next. I'm going to go to New York for the premiere and release this movie and then just see what comes up.